Hi guys, and welcome back into my kitchen. A slightly different view this evening because I'm going to be using the cooker. So I thought rather than trying to change it round, I would just position it so that I can hopefully see you and you can see me. Well, I can see you obviously, but you might not be able to see me. This evening we are going to utilise the leftover sausage that we had from last night. Last night we just had some grilled sausages with some of Vaughn's cauliflower and broccoli from the garden that we had at the weekend, which I added a bit more to the cheese sauce, and some mashed potato, and it was very nice indeed. So we had one sausage left over, which I have cut up into relatively small pieces, and I'm going to add it to my pot, which in here I already have been frying some onion. Don't know if you can see that, guys. Some onion and some bacon, and I fried that in a little of the sausage fat that I had left over from the weekend, because when we grilled our sausage a lot of fat came out of it, but it's tasty, it's got a lot of flavour to it. So I kept it, put it in one of these little white ceramic dishes that I think we have some of these at work. If not, we have some brown ones. And they're quite good because obviously they are heat resistant, and I use that to keep the fat in. So I've used that, added a little butter, and as you can probably hear, that is now starting to bubble away quite nicely. So I'm going to add my flour, and this will in effect make my roux. Slightly different way of doing it, guys, because normally we would just melt the butter and add the flour, but because I've been frying the bacon and the onions in it, obviously the ingredients are in it. So I've stirred that around, and the idea is you want to cook out the flour, because if you don't, then the whole pot of your sauce will end up being taste floury, which isn't very nice. So I'm now going to add my milk. Now normally if I was just doing an ordinary sauce, cheese sauce or white sauce for this, I would use my whisk to make sure I got rid of any lumps, but I can't do that because obviously I've got bacon and the onions in it. So I'm just going to have to do it very carefully, stirring as I go after each addition of milk. And it shouldn't take too long. Now I hear you asking me, you haven't told us what you're making yet, Juliet. And you're right, I haven't. I am making my version of spaghetti carbonara. First thing this morning, fortunately, when I was first up and having my coffee, I decided to boil up some spaghetti. Wasn't entirely sure what I was going to have with it, but I knew again I would be tired, and as it was, I got called into the centre today because a member of staff was off sick, so I went in to help and didn't get home, well, didn't get finished until 2:30, and then I took my mum shopping. So I'm only back an hour, and I thought I would just wait and do this lovely sauce for you guys. So what I had done, as I say, I had cut up one onion, and I had shallow fried it in the little bit of fat that I had left over from the sausages and a little extra butter. Excuse me 1 second. No, nobody's at the door. And then once the bacon and the onions were cooked, softened and cooked, so onion softened and the bacon cooked, I then added, as you've just seen, the flour, and I'm now adding the milk. Now, I also added a tiny little shake of garlic and some salt and pepper. But at this stage, guys, you would add whatever you wanted. And if you didn't like a lot of seasoning or flavouring, you just leave it out. I think, if I remember also, I had put in a little parsley. And I haven't got any fresh parsley left. I had that earlier on. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry guys, so I've just used the dried parsley. Okay, So that is now starting to thicken up nicely. And then to that, I will add my spaghetti. Now, I didn't bring the spaghetti over, but as I cooked it this morning, what I did was, once it was cooked, I ran it under the cold water for 2 reasons. Number one, to stop it cooking so that it didn't become all kind of rubbery. But also, I've left it in nice fresh water all day, and it means it's all stayed separated. If you don't do that, I find that the pasta, obviously it's the starch in any pasta, it starts to congeal and stick together, and it's very difficult when you want to add it to your dish and it's all stuck. So that keeps it nice and fresh as well as separated. Okay, so now I have a lovely smooth bacon and onion creamy sauce for my spaghetti. So I can turn that off. Okay, don't know if you can see that, bit difficult to see. And all I'm going to do now, I'll do this in mid-air so that you can see me. In fact, if I try and turn my iPad round, you hopefully will be able to see me at my station. Super duper, great stuff. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is add my spaghetti, and you will just add enough. You don't want the dish to be too dry, but alternatively you don't want it to be too runny either. So add a little at a time. I've done extra pasta anyway because, as you are well aware, one of my little dogs is now having human food. She's been allergic to dog food for the last wee while, so we now give her either rice or pasta for her tea, mixed with maybe some chicken or something really plain. Okay, and that's it. I am not going to add any more pasta to that because I think it's just a nice consistency. Now, one other thing you could do with this, guys, you could grate some cheese and sprinkle that over if you wanted. You could just leave it exactly as it is. Or I have this, what I call my pretend parmesan, and it's the dried stuff. And I will probably just sprinkle a little of that over because it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's quite a strong, powerful cheese. Daddy's home, that's why we're barking. I'll just open the door. 2 seconds, guys. Everything happens when I start to do a video. That's fun home. So I'll finish up there, guys. So that's really it. So as says, you could put some grated cheese over the top if you wanted, a sprinkle more of parsley, but I was going to leave that exactly as it is. Stick the lid on, which I have, and it'll go straight into the oven, about 160 for about half an hour, and that will just be lovely, and it's the whole dish in one. There we go. Can't think of a challenge right now. Vaughn's trying to come through, so I shall think of something later on and send you it via the Messenger group chat. Guys, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.